So good evening to my evening class. Today is 9:14 and we're going to be working on lesson 1.5. Just a reminder, I have the YouTube videos made.
Auntie Rachel Hands with medium dark skin tone.
Daria, you want to mute?
Hold on.
I muted her. So there's two parts. If you go to my YouTube link at the top of our class, you can click on YouTube videos if you want to check your answers, or if you're watching the video and you want to move along a little bit quicker. So there's a part 1 and a part 2, and that's what we're going to work on today. Just a reminder, there's a few prep skills. So just a recommendation, especially for those that are watching the video along with me or on live, if you even glance at the prep skills page before we get started, before each class, that might kind of help you feel a little confident or more confident about what we're going to work on, because that'll give you kind of an idea of, oh, I'm going to have to use some of these. So today we're going to do a little bit with percents. In lesson 1.1 and 1.2, we did some percent increase and percent decrease, and we're going to be using the same formula. It's just different words to describe it. We're going to do some area today. So a reminder that area is length times width. And at one point, we're going to be doing some unit conversions within the area formula. So kind of back to what we did in 1.3, reminder, I'm sorry, 1.4 with our unit exchange. And then there's always some prep skills questions. So if you're like, I just want to see if I can do these, you can complete those, and the answers to the prep skills questions that are at the end of every lesson in the Math in Our World workbook. So if you're like, oh yeah, it might be nice for me to do that as just a warm up, that might be good to do. So we are starting here on page 77. And we have a volunteer that wants to read the, in a nutshell, about Einstein.
I will. I don't mind.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, you want me to read what he says first?
Sure.
When you sit with a nice girl for 2 hours and you think it's only a minute, but when you sit in a hot stove for a minute, you think it's 2 hours. That's relativity. Albert Einstein. In a nutshell, Einstein's theory of relativity says that even the passage of time is not an absolute, but rather it is relative to your frame of reference. In this lesson, we'll study appropriate ways to compare numbers, focusing on the importance of relativity. Consider these two scenarios. I owe you $20, I give you $10 instead. Will that work for you? You win $5 million in the lottery and you only get paid $4,999,990. Would that ruin your day? You're out $10 either way, but clearly it's a much bigger deal when the amount owed is 20. If you make sense to you, then you have an instinctive understanding of the concept of relative change. How does Einstein's quote about relativity connect to the examples of being shorted by $10? And how cool is Einstein's here?
He's definitely before his time.
I did a report on Einstein in one of my classes before, so that was kind of cool.
So what are everybody's thoughts? And actually, I can use Darla's background as an example. She's got her fun Christmas decorations out because she likes to decorate all year round. And my morning class, I was saying, do you remember when you were little? Didn't it seem to take forever to get around to Christmas again? It was like, oh, when is Christmas coming? And now the older I get, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's only 12 weeks to Christmas. Like it's already here again. It was just January. So I think that's kind of an interesting thing too, because when you're younger, your lifespan is smaller. So time is a big portion of your life, right? When time moves by a day, it's a big portion of your life. But when you're older, you've had so much time, so much life already that time goes quicker because it's not as big of a portion of your life anymore. So we're going to talk about change and relative change today. And we've already spoken about them, but just different words to describe them. So when we talk about absolute change, you can add that to this here. We're going to say absolute change. Absolute change is the new value minus the old value. Not always the biggest minus the smallest, but it's always the new minus the old or original. And so if we're talking about time, like 2021 would be the new value. And then anything before that would be the old value. Oh, hello to Darla's husband. He came on last week too. That was great. Okay, so
Okay.
relative change can be looked at in two different ways. And one of those ways is the change over the original value as a decimal. Oh, Brandon's having a hard time getting in. And then we have new minus original. So if you're given the actual values, you can calculate the change on top and the numerator divided by the original value. So I am going to put you out in a breakout room, and I don't know why Brandon is not being allowed to enter back in. I'm going to put you all together in a breakout room and let you work a little bit, and then you can kind of call me when you need help. I'll check in. The morning class, everything went really smooth, so I foresee that being fine. The first section is all about this concept of how big of a deal is the $10 depending on the situation. That's kind of like the overarching concept. Then the second half of the lesson today is a topic about buying carpet. So if you've ever bought carpet, you'll kind of understand what's going on there with the estimate that they do before they actually deliver and install your carpet. So I'm going to move you all to the breakout room and open that up. Put it in the
I'm not on 3 yet. Hold on.
3 would be great if you're struggling and you got a low grade and you needed the extra to make it a passing grade. And then if the downside is if you ace the test, you didn't get any extra points after all.
True. That's another one. That's a good one. I have another scenario. I'm gonna see if anybody else comes up with another one that they want to share.
Are we supposed to actually write those down?
You can if you want. Okay. Yeah. I mean, what you're writing down is for you. So if there's things where you're like, oh, we had a discussion and I got it, don't write it down. Okay. You're not scanning those for me, right? So okay. That's the luxury of being on a call is you can kind of have whatever discussions you want.
Gotcha.
So one thought I had was, what if I gave you a quiz where originally I earned a 2 out of 5 on the quiz? If I got 2 more points, I now have a 4 out of 5, right? Mm-hmm. So I just went from 2 out of 5, which is 40%, to 4 out of 5, which is 80%. I just doubled my percentage grade, right, from 40 to 80. That's a pretty big deal for me. But if it were on a test and it was out of 100 and I had a 50 and my teacher gave me 2 more points, I went from a 50% to a 52%.
It's not really a difference.
Right. So again, like I mentioned at the beginning of the lesson, the same with time, right? When something on your life happens and you are younger, you haven't had as much time, it's a bigger deal than out of a big lifespan, you know, an event is a smaller part of your life. So it's the same thing here when it's all about the denominator. The smaller the denominator, the bigger impact your numerator has. The bigger the denominator, the less of an impact your numerator has. Mm-hmm.
So you said the bigger the denominator or the bigger the numerator?
Well, it's the denominator that affects everything. Because like 4 out of 5 is 80%, but 4 out of 100 is only 4%, right? So a bigger denominator, less impact the change makes. A smaller denominator, the bigger the impact the change makes. Oh my gosh, look at your little puppy. Oh. What kind of dog is it, Darla?
She's a Chihuahua.
Is she a full Chihuahua? Oh my gosh, she's so cute.
Yeah, she's mine. She loves me the most.
Oh.
And
Oh,
she's
look at
sad because I sit 5 hours or 6 hours in here and she sits at my feet.
Look, she's like a little baby. Oh my gosh.
I know. Look at her layer on you. Like, oh. Where's my cat? She won't do that.
Oh, my cat won't either.
She's like,
Cats are funny.
please leave me alone, lady.
That's all right. I've got 3 more.
3 more what? Dogs?
Yeah, 3 more chihuahuas.
Oh my gosh, you have 4 chihuahuas?
Mhm.
I wish I lived closer. I'd babysit one. Oh my gosh.
Everybody tries to steal Honey.
That's
I'll
her.
show her if she's in here. Where you at? Honey. She's like half the size of this one.
Oh. Where's Honey?
I don't know. Honey.
Okay, so what are everybody's thoughts on 4, 5, 6, and 7? 4, 5, 6, and 7 are just kind of rewriting relative change into more of a 4 and 5 are translating relative change into more of a percent. The way you're describing it, it's the same number, but instead of saying 0.07, you're saying 7%. There's no number calculations for 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Oh.
Anybody want to try one?
I'm trying to understand what you just said. So
Well,
let's read it.
Number 5 was, well, back in the day, FAFSA used to cover all my college tuition. Now I had to get out student loans. So the price went up.
Right. So, but this was enrollment, right? So number 5 says the relative change in enrollment last year was negative 3.5%. So, it's asking us, write a sentence that describes in your own words what exactly the given statement means. So for that one, it means the number of students enrolled
dropped.
Right. Dropped by 3.5% from last year. That's all we're doing is interpreting whatever they have there.
Oh, okay. See, I'm just trying to make it harder than it is. I'm trying to look for something that I'm not seeing.
Yeah, so just read the directions. It says write a statement. So it's not doing any calculations. It's just saying write a statement using the term relative change or percent change. So before up here, they wrote relative change and we had to use a word to describe that. So we said dropped because it was negative. So now they're saying they're giving us the percent change, but we need to use the words relative change or whatnot.
You see Honey? Yeah, right here. Can I have her?
So if somebody wants to share what they think they've got for 6 or 7, there's lots of different ways we can write 6, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So.
Okay. Value of my retirement.
And where is she? Is she going to be upset because you're going to put her down?
No.
Will they both be up there? No. Oh.
No.
Oh.
See what I mean? By half the size.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. How old is she?
Showing doggies.
How old is she?
Not classwork.
She's, what is it?
6, 7.
8, 9.
So cute. So cute.
Yeah, because I've got I had 2 different mamas, and yeah.
So which one's your teacher?
This one.
Okay, teacher. Where does showing dogs show in homework?
We're building camaraderie. Thank you.
We're building friendship.
Exactly.
Friendship.
Yeah, trust.
Showing each other's dogs?
Well, nobody else is showing a dog.
Okay. Does anybody want to share how they rewrote 6 or 7?
Oh.
Okay. For question 6, Apple profits. 2015, the Apple profit was Lower. Oh, 2016, it was lower. Apple's profit 0.4% lower than it was. $2015 was a good year for Apple.
They want us to use the term relative change or percent change in the sentence.
Okay.
I said the relative profit for Apple was negative 14.4% from 2016 or from 2015 to 2016.
That Apple's profit. We also need to include relative change. So
She did.
Oh, I meant, yeah, relative change in profit. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. The relative change in Apple's profit. Whoops. We could even say decreased, right? Instead of lower. And we could even use a different word there. Yes, a decrease by 14.4%.
Do you say lower? You don't have to put a negative. Oh, okay, I get you. Because you're saying lower instead of the percent.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, so they said lower. I used the word decrease. So I just was trying to show you there's the other ways that you can show it. Or you could say the relative change was a negative 14.4%. You could say that. You know, up here they did it with a symbol in number 5.
So if you want to, like you said, if you want to do percent, you'd say that it was decreased 14.4%.
I did mean to say that. I just didn't have the symbol.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So we can look at 8.
Okay.
So now we're going to kind of move to talking about the budget for our U.S. government. So it says, if you want some interesting reading, look up baseline budgeting. Currently, the federal budget has an automatic annual increase of 7% to many programs. Suppose that $435 million is spent for improvements to interstate highways for 2019. If the automatic increase of 7% applies to this budget, how much is expected for that program in 2020?
So you just multiply that by 1.07, the 43 or 435 million.
Did you get 30 million?
I think they want the total, like total numbers of dollars spent. There's a 7% increase.
You did multiply by the 435 million times the 7.7.
I did 435 million multiplied by 1.07 because that would be the total number of dollars for that budget. If you just did it by the 0.07, that would only be what the dollars increased is, and you'd have to do the extra step of adding that to the 435 million.
And you can do both or either. Good job, Shelby. I like that. Nobody brought that 1.07 up in my morning class.
I do budgets for a living.
There you go.
So what number did you get? I'm just trying to check mine.
465,450,000.
Okay, that's what I got.
Good job.
Okay, can you explain where the one comes from again, just to be clear?
The one is just saying it's 100% of the 435 million. You're wanting to include that in your budget. So you get all of the 435 million and you're adding 0.07 to that. So it's just going to, rather than having to like add the 30 million, it's just, or actually over 30 million, it's just including it automatically without the extra step of adding it to your, like having to add it later.
Okay.
You want back up?
Yeah. So you could do it in 2 steps, Zaria, if you wanted, is basically what she's saying. So the 435 plus the 435 times the additional 7%.
Okay.
And that
Wait, I got the same answer.
you got the what?
I got the same answer. Yeah, I did it twice, so I can see the difference.
Yay, so you got this 465.45.
Yes.
Yay. Okay. Now you do kind of need to go through this example because they kind of talk about the example in the next piece. So it says, suppose that only 440 million is budgeted for interstate highway improvements, not the expected amount that you found in question 8. Find the actual change and the relative change in the amount spent from 2019 to this budgeted amount of 440 in 2020. Is it positive or negative? And what does it mean? So the actual change was they budgeted 440 minus the 435 that they were going to, right? The old budget was 435. So they did increase by 5 million. The 5 million out of the 435, so the change out of the original, right? So this is the relative change. It's 0.0115, which is really 1.15%, which is less than the 7 that they originally said, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to keep my mouth shut and I'm gonna let you guys talk through this with number 9.
I'm not seeing where they came up with that number. I thought maybe they were saying that the 7%, like they were basing it off of the 7% increase. So assuming that there was a 7% increase, it would have been a 5.4% cut, but it doesn't look like, at least based on my math, it doesn't look like that's true.
I know. And I don't know if they were saying that 7 minus the 1.15% was 5.4, but that doesn't add up to be 7 either. So I'm not sure where they're getting it, but I think what their point is they're saying because it wasn't the 7%, it was a decrease. But it's not a decrease. They still increased in their spending, right? It just wasn't the full 7%.
Right.
So that's kind of that's how I answered it. It's just, we have to remember when the media gives us information, it's kind of how they want to spin it. So if they want to spin it, there was a decrease. Well, that's not true. We still spent more money than what we did before. It's just, it wasn't the 7% that they said they were going to increase it by, right? It was only 1.15%. So they could have said it in a different way and still got the same point across. But by saying it was a decrease of 5.4%, it kind of made it sound like they cut money, but they didn't really cut money. They just didn't allocate as much as they usually do, the increase of as much as they usually do. Which would be disappointing if it was like an area of something, you know, a program that you were hoping that they were going to spend money on, right?
So how would you put that down on the answer then? Or not? You're a 9, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
I just said there was still an increase. It just wasn't a full 7%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. That is correcto. That's exactly how I wrote it. Yep. That is essentially it. I don't know if everybody wants to take like a few minute break or whatever you want to do, but the next section is all about the carpet. Oh, got my papers out of order here. There we go.
Oh gosh, I can't believe it's almost an hour already.
I know. Can you believe you guys have been working already? Time flies when you're having fun. So I'm going to let you. You do now, or you used to?
I did.
Yeah.
Really, I would have thought to overestimate because I like to budget for.
No, you don't want to overestimate because you'll have a lot of waste.
Okay.
And unless your carpet is in a pattern, then you have to go with the pattern. But if you just got regular blue, gray, brown, sometimes the installer can turn it and it will still flow and you won't notice it. They can seam it.
Right.
But
that is the thing. My nephew sells carpet and he's like, well, it only comes in these like 15 feet wide or blah, 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 blah. So we have to order it in these certain increments. And I'm like, I think you're just trying to sell me some more carpet.
I just don't have carpet and I have hardwood floors and then I don't
like
have to worry about it.
Floors. I know. We just redid all of our carpet and my husband talked me into carpet in the family room and the hard part is we have a small house on a lake. So it's like, they already redid our kitchen in this one wood. And then we redid our bathroom in this like wood laminate stuff or whatever, and they're not the same. And then we redid stuff in between there, the carpet strip, and I was going to do wood, but I'm like, well, now I feel like we need to kind of redo it all the same. So I just let him get the carpet.
I think carpet, I don't like
Yeah,
carpet.
but carpet comes in a 12-foot roll or 15-foot roll.
Right.
And if it's the 15-foot roll, you got to make sure it's not a pattern. Patterns are a pain.
Right.
And make sure it all flows.
If I ever do decide to get carpet, I'm calling Darla.
There you go.
I know nothing about it.
Well, I learned a lot from my boss. He's also the guy I'm buying my house from. So we put in flooring in our own house. And my husband does flooring on the side. So yeah, and he's a good estimator on how much you would need. And then he breaks it down to where, yeah, if it's a plain normal color, okay, we can use pieces to fill up your closets, the little spots, like little hallways, and then you seam it. I've done seaming. It's a little tricky, but yes, you got to do it just right. You don't want to burn the carpet and then have this line right down the middle of your floor.
No, you don't want that.
No. Yeah, I worked there 5-6 years.
Wow.
Yeah. But we didn't do it in inches. We did it in feet or squares.
Oh, we're gonna switch it up here tonight. So is everybody ready to start that?
I'm ready.
Yeah. What are we on 81?
82.
Yep. So we're talking about the carpet. So if you'll want to make sure you read the very first line even because it's important.
Here. Hey, honey. Mark. I need you for a second. Listen. A carpet installer estimated that 24 2/3 square yards of carpet would be needed for the bedroom and closet. Find the area of the room in inches. Are you going to do it?
I can't see. I'm half blind.
I know. So it's 182, 180, 28, 64, and 50 inch.
Okay.
So I need the full area. You want a piece of paper? It's right there.
Who's this for? Are they
For the whole class.
Oh. So you got 128 inches.
Yep, that's here.
12 equals, it's 10 and a half foot.
This part is?
It's 10 and a half. 10.6.
Okay.
128 inches. And then the other one's 182. So it's 182 divided by 12 equals 15.1. So it's just over 15 foot.
Okay, and then what about the closet?
64 divided by 12 is 5 foot. It's 5.5. Well, see, we do stuff by half, so it'd be 5.5 foot. Okay. So it's 5 foot.
Yeah. You're going to want to go through the way they're having you do it. So right now they're having you do all in inches, and then they're going to have you do, yeah. So we're going to go back. We're going to go back to the turning it to feet and raising it to the upper half feet later. It's like probably 10.
So it's 5.3 inches. So
okay.
it's.
But I gotta have it in inches, I say.
You mean it's
It's
5.3
wrote in
feet.
inches already.
No,
64 inches.
the square.
Right. That's what I'm doing right now. So you
Okay.
got 50.
You gotta find the area
So
of the
it's
closet.
just over,
in
it's 4
square.
foot 1. So now you go blind as a bat. 10 foot. So you go 10 foot 0.5 times 15.1. 15.1 equals 158.5 square feet in that room. Divided by 9 equals, you need 17.5 yards of carpeting. That's just for the big piece of the room.
Okay.
So you take the square
Yeah.
of the room.
Does everybody have the area for the, where it's asking you for the area of the bedroom?
And that
Yeah. Let me-
33,124 for the big room.
In square inches?
Yes.
What did you,
Multi-
how did you get that one?
Multiply the 128 and 182.
Okay, I think I got 23,296. Oh no.
That's what I got was 23,290.
Oh, maybe I did my 182 times. Oh, no, I accidentally did 182 times 182.
Okay, I was like, oh no, my morning class, they all had 23,296. I was like, oh no, oh no.
I wrote it down right. I just didn't put it in my calculator right.
Too funny. And then the area of the closet is already at 64 by 50 is 3,200 inches squared. Is everybody else doing okay, Melissa, Brandon? I just want to make sure everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure. And then it says we have to buy carpet for the closet doorway, a full closet doorway, right? Right. So right here, carpet is needed for the entire doorway. So that's the full 30 inches wide by the 4 inches of the doorway. But then it says the one in the hallway into the bedroom is only half of the doorway. So that one is only 30 times 2. How's everybody else doing? Did everybody get what I got for their totals?
Yes.
Okay. And then if we have to go from square inches to square yards, sorry, I already have some of this filled in from this morning. Square inches to square yards, I had to go inches to feet and then feet to yard because I didn't know the
So if I did it right, 741 square yards.
I had 20.58.
Dang, did I?
So did you just, so we have to go inches twice. So divide by 12 inches and then divide by 12 inches because it's inches squared.
Oh, no, I didn't do that. That'll be why.
And then I had to do the feet to go, so I had to divide by 3 feet to go from feet to yards and do it again, 3 feet to yards.
What did you say your answer was?
Right here, 20.58.
Okay, I can't see that side of your paper, but
Oh, that's right. Oh, sorry. Can you see now? Am I sharing my screen?
Yeah,
you
it
share-
looks like because the zero's not closed, it looks like
Oh, right here.
yeah, that's all. I have a question though. Up at the top on number 4, we have the 26,676 inches squared. And that's kind of where it lost me down the bottom because I didn't carry the squared over as well. So I was confused by your the 1 inch over the 12 and the 1 over the 12 there because you had to have it squared, correct?
Yes, it's square inches because all of these were, this is 182 inches times 128 inches. So you inches times inches. So these are all square inches.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I got what Shelby said where her didn't come out because of that.
Oh, there you go.
You have to do the inches to the feet to the yard. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not a carpenter.
No worries. No worries.
My husband's an engineer and he's really good at math and he helps me when I need it, but I just say, I don't know how you did this. It's just comes natural to him. I guess I just look at some of these questions just too hard sometimes.
Right. No.
So I have a question as I printed off stuff and I see that our tests are proctored. Do we have to go there to take them or do we hear it and then we're on the camera? How do you do that?
Oh, so the midterm is going to be I'm trying to set it up. I think the midterm and the final are both going to be in JetNet.
Okay.
So, yeah, and then I'm trying to get it so students can take it. If you want to take it with me, then you can do it while I'm here.
Okay.
But I think we're trying to set it up so people can do it through Respondus, to where it'll be kind of monitoring you through the computer. So you have to have a response. You'll have to be able to download the Respondus.
Oh, okay.
You're on your computer from the school, but we'll get there. That's going to be the middle of October. So
Okay, because I don't even know what that was, so I've never done that before.
that's right. Yeah, we'll get to that bridge. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Okay.
Let me know when everybody gets when they get to 7.
I just got there.
Okay.
Are we using the original price as, or the original estimate as the original number?
We're using the estimate at the top as the estimate, and then the actual. So if you go back to the page prior, it says estimated minus actual over actual.
Oh, I see.
That'll kind of help you just kind of keep it straight a little bit better with a percent error. So I don't want to share it yet until everybody gets a chance to try it on their own.
Sorry, it's storming. I had to get up and shut the window.
Oh, it's storming there.
It's coming down, the rain and thunder and lightning. So
Oh,
yeah.
very cool.
Okay.
Anybody get their error, percent error? What did everybody get for number 7?
I'm still writing my notes. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. I'll be right back. Okay, anybody have their percent increase or decrease or error, I mean, from number 7? Anybody want to share?
Assuming I did it right, I got the 19.8% error.
Anybody confirm that?
Not I.
Darla, I don't know if you were trying to respond, but you're silent. You're on mute. I got the same. So it should be your estimate minus your actual. So you should be trying to follow the formula that's on this page. The estimate minus the actual over the actual. Right? And the estimate is 24 and 2/3. So you could do 24 and 2/3 in Desmos. I'm not sure. Let's see where my Desmos is here. 24 and 2/3. I didn't like that. Oh, maybe I did this. Okay, so 74/3. So 74/3. And then you could take and multiply, oops, and subtract 20.58. That's one way to do it. And then you're gonna have to hit.
You don't have to do it twice because it's squared.
No, we're doing a difference.
Oh, okay. Oh, God, yeah. Okay, okay.
So you could do it that way. It should come out to be 19.85 or 19.87. I did it with a decimal, so I used the estimated as 24.67 minus the 20.58 parentheses, and then divide, so it creates a fraction 20.58. So I got 19.87 as well.
Oh, I need to use a Desmos more because that makes it a lot easier.
Yes, yes. I definitely would be using Desmos. Does anybody have any questions there on the, so they definitely overestimated by about 19.87%. So I agree with that, Shelby. Anybody have any questions on that? Darla, Melissa, Brandon?
No.
Everybody's good on that? Okay. Then we're moving along to question number 8. I'll leave it like this. So what about number 8? So they overestimated us by 20%, but it says that we're going to pay using the estimated amount. That's what they charge you. And Darla told us that earlier. So if we're going to pay using And then this one is our lesson check. So you want to mark that so you know what one it is.
So you just do the 28 times the 24.66, which equals $690.50. Well, 48 cents, but I don't know. Maybe I rounded it out.
Yeah, I rounded mine to 24.67. You could also do it in Desmos with that fraction, and that will work out as well. Let's see here. So if we go here, so that fraction 24 2/3 was 74 thirds. So we could say 74 thirds times 28. So yeah, 690.67 is also an answer. If you use 24.67, the rounded, appropriate rounded, it comes out to be 690.76. So either of those will be okay. And I made either of those okay in JetNet.
I just did that. I put this 690.67 and it just told me I had to reattempt it.
690.67?
Yeah, let me try again. 690.67.
Okay.
So you do. So I got so that gave me that answer.
Yep. So the 24 2/3 and then this fraction button over here just switches it to the mixed number or the improper fraction.
Okay.
So now you can use 74 thirds for the rest of the problem.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, just hit the divide. It's okay. As soon as you hit the divide, hit the divide, it'll make a fraction. It'll make it, there you go. Then it'll make it into the fraction.
Okay, cool.
And then if you want to multiply that by something, you can arrow right with your arrow keys on your keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
And then just put a right parenthesis.
Okay.
Oh, you startled me.
Yeah, there. I'm going to do it by 28.
We're multiplying by $28 a square foot.
Right.
Per yard.
Okay. So that's the 690.66. So do we round? You only round if it tells you to, correct?
Well, it's money, so we're going to round to 2 decimal places.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so 690.67.
Because I saw you guys typing that in. It's like, oh my God, I can't get my decimals up. All right, well, that's cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
all right, guys, I have to go. But it's been real. Thanks for the help.
You're welcome. See ya.
Bye.
Maybe I'll see you in Westco one of these days.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure I'll be there.
Hopefully we see you on Thursday.
I don't think I'll be able to make it Thursday. I'll be driving home.
Oh,
but I'll watch the recording when I get home.
Okay.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
So Sarah, I have a question. When the one day that I came in and I started late, and then I went back and listened to the part that I missed. At first, for some reason I couldn't get it to come up, and then I went out and came back in and finally clicked on it and it finally worked. So I don't know what I did or whatever, but do you do different in the morning than you do with us, or are you pretty much the same?
I pretty much do the same thing, but if you want to go back and rewatch something, I would, I'm gonna share my screen. So it's gonna force you to stop sharing.
Okay, and that's because sometimes I might not have quite caught something in the lesson and I want to go back and look.
So if you want to watch any of the videos of me doing the lessons, go to the top of our JetNet here and it says right here, oops, it says YouTube videos for each lesson by Sarah.
Right.
So if you click on that, it's not me in class with anybody, it's just me going through the problems. So it'll be quicker, especially if you're just like, I've already done the work and I'm just trying to figure out what I did wrong.
Right.
You're not waiting, it's not like us in class. So you can just go here, and right now I have all the way through 1/6 done.
Okay, well, see, and that'll help because some of these that we're in now, it says because from the last lesson, it's like, I got to go back and look and
Mhm.
yeah, so that will help. Thank you.
Yep, of course.
The storm has hit me.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's in
Wow.
Adrian.
Yeah, there's lightning pretty good outside. I hope I don't lose it here.
Okay, let's bust through this. So it says use the actual error in the estimate to find the dollar value of wasted carpet. So what was the actual amount that we aired? We were over by. So in part 7.
Are you going percentage? 19.8%.
Well, that was the percentage, but when you calculated it,
Okay.
I did mine in pieces. So my actual error was 4.09 square yards.
Oh, okay. No, see, I didn't.
That's the one benefit about kind of doing those in pieces.
Yeah.
The actual is 4.09 yards squared. And so if we multiply that by the $28 per square yards, it looks like we overpaid by $114.52.
Okay, let me see how you said that error.
If you want to share your screen and do decimals, you can.
I have a question. You have that circled 690 up at that 176.
Because that one is using 0.67. This one is using the 24 2/3, which is an exact value, that 74 thirds.
Oh, because I'm
This
like,
one is using,
mine says 6.7.
right, because we use the 74 thirds in the calculation.
Gotcha.
If you use 24.67, a rounded value, it comes out as 690.76.
Okay.
Either or work. That's why I was making.
I was confused.
No, it's okay. Either or works. No problem.
Okay, I have a question for you, Sarah. For number 10, up in 9, it said that the estimated error was 4.09 yards. So would that just be number 10? Would that just be a written answer?
Yeah. So
it's actually less than the 5 to 10%, correct?
Is more.
Oh, see, I guess I'm not sure what
we had to go back to the percentage.
Oh, see, that's what I didn't do.
Remember?
Now, when you use a percentage, you don't round it, right?
Right, but either way, it's way more. They're saying in general they over by 5 to 10. I just put 20 because I'm just writing a statement. So it's not important that I write 19.87. I'm saying just theirs was an over by about 20%, which is way more than 5 to 10. So that's
okay.
It's not necessary that I did the 19.8. You know what I mean? I'm not doing a calculation with the 19.87.
Yeah, okay. 20% over.
So yeah. So they're saying on the internet, typically everybody gets overestimated by 5 to 10%. Our guy overestimated by 20. That is a terrible estimate.
Can you show me how you got the answer right there for over the 20%? Estimated.
This is number 7.
Okay,
That was our estimated error, right? Was 19.87%.
correct.
I just wrote it as 20. 19.87 just rounds to quick 20.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
This is, sorry.
See, and that's what I'm saying. I just make things harder than it really is.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's just a conversation. So it wasn't worth me writing 19.87%.
Okay.
So I was just saying, yeah, it was a terrible estimate. He was basically over by 20%.
Okay. All right. So I said, I'm looking for more than that's there.
No worries, no worries. Yep, and then this one is actually going back to how Darla said that they actually estimate.
All right, because yep, I remember you saying that we'd come to that to the end.
So it says one suggestion for estimating carpet is to measure each room in inches and round up to the nearest half foot and ignore the doorways. Using the measurements for the closet and the bedroom, make an estimate for the square feet needed. So they rounded everything first. So
Here we go.
So if you go back to your map of the bedroom.
So question number 2. 128.
Yeah, I've already written on mine, but so I took all my inches. And if you divide by 12, then they go into feet. So this is 15.2 feet, but they said that they always round up to the nearest half foot. So I put an up arrow to remind myself, I rounded this to 15.5 feet. So you're going to need to do that for all of your measurements because they want you to find the closet. You'll have to find the closet and the bedroom. So as everybody going through and marking their measurements, you need to do them in the feet. So the other measurements. Rounded up. So this width here would be 10.67 and we should have rounded that to 11. Right, if we went from inches to feet. And then, yeah, Darla and her husband were already going through this. So this 64 inches divides and makes 5.33 feet, but we have to round that to the nearest foot up to the nearest foot, so 5.5 feet. And then this 50 inches divided by 12 is 4.17. Again, we have to round up to the nearest feet of 4.5. And they said, don't worry about the closets. That's what the description said. So if we don't worry about the closets, then using the feet to get square feet, my bedroom becomes 170.5 and 24.75. And Darla, is this what your husband came up with, about 195.25? I know you guys were talking about it there at the beginning.
193, I think. No, 158 square foot.
Oh, you came up with 158?
Yeah. But it is nighttime, so I don't know if his numbers were correct, because he was thinking, he might have been thinking something else.
He was doing stuff in his head.
15.1. Huh?
I know he was doing it all in his head. I was like,
No, he had the calculator.
oh, I was like, well, he was like really rattling it off pretty quick. I was like, wow, it's quick.
Yeah, well, it's 15.1 and you got 15.2, or you got 15 and a half.
Well, because they said that they always round up to the nearest half foot.
He was doing actual.
Yeah. So they said everything has to be rounded to the nearest half foot. So these are all rounded up to the nearest half foot when I did them. So 195.25. And then it says using the measurements for the closet in the bedroom, make an estimate for the square feet needed, which I did. And then how does this estimate compare to the actual area? So the actual area, I took my square yards and put that into square feet, just so I was comparing apples to apples. And I got 185.22 square feet. So maybe that's what he was doing with square feet, because you said 185 is what he got.
Yeah.
So the actual is 185.22. No, he's good. And then this was the estimate. And then if you do this as a percent error, we can do it down here. Our estimate would be 195.25 minus the actual of 185.22 over 185.22. If we follow the formula.
And you can put it in Desmo just like that.
I have to turn the SMS again. Yep. So in Desmos, I usually do a parenthesis for my numerator, 195.25 minus 185.22. Parenthesis, and then when I hit divide, it makes my fraction, and then 185.22.
Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm.
So another way is if you know you're going to do a fraction, you could just do like 195.25 and divide by the 185.22. And then, so it creates a fraction, then go up and do whatever you still needed to subtract the 185.22. Sometimes I do that just so it will make the fraction right off the bat. But so this one, if you move that to a percent, it's 5.4% over, right? Which is not as much of an overestimate as the original estimate that he did in square inches was about 20% over. So in the morning class, we said it might have just been it might have just been because we were using the inches first, and then we because this one got a little bit closer to that, because if you're just rounding up to the nearest half foot, you're actually getting closer to the actual in the estimate than whatever he came up with there. And we're not sure where he came up with his 24 2/3. But and then number 12 is left up to you. List some situations where a relative change is a much more useful number than actual change. So percent increase, percent decrease, percent error. I mean, there's lots of times where percentages is much more important than just the difference. So your budget, that might be a percent, difference of your budget, that might be one. Anybody have any questions?
No, I just know I'm gonna have to practice some more on these conversions.